Yeah, I think that's a really accurate description of what's going on. Um, and I've also really admire some of the promotions that you have had for Cards Against Humanity. I think it was, Christmas time, Black Friday. You raised the price of Cards Against Humanity. You've sold boxes of bullshit, like literal crap from bulls, and people bought that as like, was that a Black Friday deal or was that a just
Yeah,
like
well,
a Christmas time thing?
this is just sort of an interesting. It's just sort of like an interesting story of how we do all of our marketing. I mean, cards, mostly out of necessity because we've been broke for most of our company's history. We don't spend any money on advertising, so we're always looking for something we can do. But nonetheless, it's very important to us that we get some attention on Black Friday because that's when everyone buys things, right? Or around the holiday, really not on Black Friday, but around the holidays, right? We want people to be thinking about Cards Against Humanity and to consider buying it as a gift because, like, we have employees and we want to pay their health insurance, and we want to like buy groceries and stuff. So that's just the business. So it's very hard. And like I think the obvious answer is like, oh well, we should just buy ads and we'll like compete against like Hasbro and Mattel and whatever and like advertise our game. Fortunately, there no matter even if we spent all of our money on ads, we'd never get a tenth of the advertising budget of a big toy company like Mattel, right? So what that leaves us with is like we have to fight like a guerrilla war. Like we can't fight the battle on their terms. We have to like pop out of the bushes and ambush them. So we're always looking for those opportunities. Like Black Friday is kind of our big one, where everyone has some like big blowout corporate PR thing, and they're spending tons of money to promote it, and it's this big thing. And then we swoop in and we do something that's basically very free or low cost, but it's like very out of left field and surprising. And we get just a lot of earned media and attention and comedy value out of it and sort of capture the stories. Because everyone on Black Friday, the whole press, everyone on the internet, everyone's looking to write a story about Black Friday. And we feel like without spending almost any money, we can usually come in and get a better story that is more in line with most people's values about what Black Friday means.
We're going to take a quick break. The other day I saw an ad for something that I wanted to buy, and I'm telling you, I was really ready to buy it on first sight. It was that cool. So I clicked on the ad, and then I waited, and I waited, and I waited. So I went back to Facebook, and I saw a bunch of cool stuff there. I saw a video of some people climbing on top of some tall buildings, and then there's this really interesting article about antibacterial soap. And you know what? I never did end up buying that product. Actually, I can't even tell you what it was. I forgot. Speed matters on the web. People want instant gratification. If they don't get it, they're always a click away from something more interesting, which is why I used to obsess with trying to get my WordPress site optimized. I would mess around with caching plugins and setting up a CDN and playing with image sprites. And, there were a lot of other things I would have rather been doing with my Saturday nights, but it did work. My traffic went up and my revenue went up. And I wish I would have had this WordPress speed test tool back then. You just enter your website and you get a detailed report of just how fast your WordPress site is and easy steps you can take to make it faster. So go check it out. It's at wpengine.com/speedy. You're going to get a free speed test. That's wpengine.com/speedy. And it's like a perfect positioning move too, because everybody's zigging. Everybody's saying, oh, here's our great deal. We're going to give away free TVs at Best Buy or something like that. And then you're just saying, well, I think one of them was you give us $5 and you don't get anything, and you have to like click a box like I agree that I understand that I'm giving you $5 and I'm getting nothing at all in return. And obviously that's going to be a great news story because who else would do that?
Yeah, well, and what's funny is like we're actually like that promotion last year. It's like escalates every year, and that thing we did that promotion last year that was called the one day only give Cards Against Humanity $5 sale, and it was like the idea is like it's like you can buy the best thing to buy on Black Friday is nothing. Like on Black Friday, everyone is selling you something. But Cards Against Humanity is the only company that has the integrity to sell you nothing, and we are selling it for only $5. That is an incredible. For only $5, you can get nothing from Cards Against Humanity. It's a great deal. And what's funny is like that's actually like third level recursive like jujitsu anti-Black Friday marketing. So Black Friday, first of all, it's so disgusting. It comes right after this day in the U.S., Thanksgiving, where you're supposed to be thankful for what you have. And then it's this just disgusting orgy of consumer, you know, frenzy where everyone is like bashing into each other trying to get like cheap electronics and bullshit they don't need. It really is offensive, and we hate it. And most Americans feel this. I think most people hate it. Even the people participating in it hate Black Friday. Everyone hates
Mm-hmm.
Black Friday. So the first level, the lowest level of Black Friday sale is a deal, a sale, a coupon, right? And when we were first thinking of like how do we parody this, we were like, well, let's do a coupon for 1 cent off. Well, you get a 1 day only 1 cent off Cards Against Humanity coupon. And ultimately, we rejected that idea. We made us laugh, and we were like, "This is funny." But ultimately, we were like, "Oh, I still feel a little weird about this." And it was because we didn't want to do a coupon on Black Friday. Like, even if it's a shitty coupon, it's still kind of taking advantage of it in the same way as everyone else is. So the first year, instead of that deal, what we did was we did a $5 more sale, and we raised all the prices and everything. And that was sort of a protest, a Black Friday protest of like, hey, we're opting out of this. Like, we don't give a shit if you buy our stuff or not. You know, it's like this is what we're about. And ironically, it got tons of attention, and we sold tons of games and made a lot of money, and it was awesome from a marketing point of view. But now everyone does that. That was 3 years ago, and the world has changed. Like this year, I don't know if you remember, there was a massive like REI closed all their stores on Black Friday, which is just the default of what everyone. It's like the basic decent thing to do is like not make your employees work the day after Thanksgiving, but it's just like they made such a fucking promotion. They were in the New York Times. And they had TV ads. And it was like they had some fucking hashtag on Twitter. It was like we're closed. REI is closed. It was a big national promotion of how proud they were to be closed. They were like, go outside and like adventure or whatever. And it was just such this gross marketing thing. And they clearly weren't on vacation because they were all marketing their stupid hashtag on Black Friday. So it's like now it's like, well, we can't even do that anymore. Because that's been co-opted by corporate culture as well. So it's like it's not even cool to be like, we're not doing anything on Black Friday, or we're closed, or we're taking our store down. So that's why we're like, well, even that's really dishonest because you're still selling shit to people on you're still using Black Friday to sell. Of course, we're doing that too. But at least I feel like the fun thing about the like give us $5 thing is at least we have the integrity to be like, hey, we just want your money. Like, like we're a business. Like, come on, pony up. And there's something so crass, but also like honest about that. Like we even call it like we email people about it. We describe it as like I think we described it as it's time we've launched like a desperate bid for your attention and money. Like we're just like so transparent about it. And there's a way like I always love thinking about this as like an improv scene, which kind of goes to our roots in like Chicago comedy, where we create this improv scene and we're like, in improv, you always have this false premise, and someone always starts off the scene and they're like, a family having a fight or whatever, right? And there's always that moment of tension of like, are the other actors going to be into this? Is it going to happen? Is it going to come together? Is it going to be funny? You have that moment of like, ooh, what's this? What's going to happen? Is this real or is it not real? So we put out that thing and we're like, hey, give us $5. And there's a counter on the website and you can watch it tick up as people give us money. And we have no idea. We honestly had no idea what was going to happen, if people were going to get mad or what. By the end of the day, we wound up raising $70,000 from people. So tons of people came in and gave us $5 because they thought it would be funny. And the way I see that is just like an improv, that is the public. They're our scene partner in the scene that we're performing for the broader world. And you're creating the premise of the scene, and the public is coming in and saying yes and, which is what you do in improv. So you have this crazy family situation, and your scene partner says, yes, that's true, and this. And suddenly the tension is relieved. The false thing that was invented a moment ago on stage becomes real for everyone in the audience. And that's where the sort of absurdity and the comedy naturally enter into it. And that becomes the fact that happens, like we actually take a risk that this thing might fail. Our fans kind of come to our defense and yes and the scene and make it real. That is like an irresistible story. Like everyone wants to post about that. They're like, it's just like watching improv. It's the magic. It's like, I cannot believe this is happening in front of my eyes right now. When it's bad, it's really sad and pathetic.